So to start things off, I do start with the same boring ass question every time. That's the simple introduction. Who are you guys? Kind of what do you do? And just a little background on yourselves.
Yeah, so I'm Kev O'Brien. I'm the singer and guitar player for Mechanical Roots.
I'm Michael O'Grady. I play guitar for Mechanical Roots.
Yeah, so right now we recently dropped a single called The Fight, and it's out everywhere, streaming everywhere. Yeah, so we've just been really pushing that, getting a lot of promo going on that, and so far the feedback has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been good. So that's kind of what we're doing. We just dropped that, and then we're planning a tour in October.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely
Wait,
be hitting
I have a
that.
quick question.
Yeah,
Is this
go for it.
podcast going to be just audio or video and audio?
So it is primarily just audio. I'm starting to use clips of the video to do like TikToks, Instagram Reels,
Oh,
all that
sweet.
fun
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
we'll use that as well or tag us in it so we can.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
So
Sorry. Derail.
no, you're totally fine. So let's dive into kind of the background on the band, right? This project, because you guys, while this project is kind of new to the industry, you guys yourselves are not new to the industry. What's
Correct.
it been like, kind of doing this formation and figuring out the sound?
Yeah, I mean, 2020, everything kind of shit the bed, you know.
Yeah.
So
I shit the bed as well.
Yeah.
When it,
and not just in 2020.
yeah,
That's
and
kind
they're
of
like,
the
you
Right.
can't leave
Just
the house. And I'm
daily.
like, oh no. Sorry.
But I had the name Mechanical Roots. I thought it was a good, band name for a rock band. And
Yeah.
I did a podcast actually with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him during the podcast. I was like, "Yo, would you ever join an original band, in the scene?" And he was like, "It had to be the right one."
Right.
I was playing hard to get.
Yeah. So
You gotta buy me drinks first.
exactly. So I got him absolutely wasted. He agreed to do it.
And now he regrets every day.
Yeah, he regrets
couldn't-
every day. But
I couldn't walk right for a week.
yeah,
It was weird. What happened then?
yeah, by contract, I own his soul now. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Help me.
But also, me and Patricio, the drummer, we were kind of jamming. And then we got him, and I was like, yeah, we need a bass player now. We got two guitars and drums, but there's no bass. And he was like, I know a guy. And Nick Diorio, who's now the bassist in Mechanical Roots, I saw him jam years ago in LA, and I was like, shit, I need that guy in my band,
Yeah.
And somehow the universe kind of brought us all together,
Mhm.
full circle. So yeah, now you got the official lineup of what we are now, Mechanical Roots. And honestly, I know it was a downer for a lot of people, the pandemic, but it was kind of the best thing in a way
Yeah,
that happened.
it worked out very
to us.
serendipitously.
Yeah.
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 Because I did
So
a podcast because we couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we were like, what are we gonna do?
I was like,
Stuck inside.
I was like, I need to do something. And I was like, this is a perfect time for me to just basically interview and talk to my friends. And then
Yeah.
he hit me up. And then I was just like, so if it wasn't for that, I mean, it could have happened, but it was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because we had so much time to just rehearse and
Yeah,
we knew there was no agenda. We could
exactly.
kind of figure everything out. It was perfect.
And we did a live stream show at a church. We're not a religious band, but
right.
and I'm sure we're going to hell for that show.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, it was cool. It was a good turnout as far as views online, and yeah, that's when we kind of knew all right, this is something that I think could work. So
Yeah.
just been grinding ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's funny you guys say, it was a hard time for everyone, right? The whole world, suffered through the pandemic. But kind of this reoccurring theme that I've noticed through doing my podcast and interviewing bands, which I mean, I've done music journalism for almost 18, 19 years now, but doing the podcast and going through COVID, doing the podcast, talking to bands, initially everybody had that same feeling of we don't know what the fuck's happening, what's the next step, when does it get better type thing. But it seems like more and more bands that I'm talking to now, post everything, are in kind of the same boat as you, where you know what, looking back, this was a blessing in
Mhm.
kind of disguise, because we could work at our own pace. We could figure out what we needed to do and come up with new ways to kind of market and revolutionize the industry to some degree.
Yeah, you're able to pump the brakes because when you're so into it, you're just nonstop playing shows on the road, whatever, and then you don't really hone in on your sound. You're not recording or writing a lot. So this
Yeah.
was a good time for us to really sit back, write a bunch of songs, record a bunch of singles, and really set us up for the future. So I mean, Yeah, that's kind of what the fight is about. It was about a lot of friends and family members that we knew who just went through a really hard time mentally.
Yeah.
And so, through the darkness, you got to find some light. And that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
So that's what the song's about. Just fight on through. It's very
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah. What's the fight about? Well,
The fight.
Ironically, it's about fighting,
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
that struggle you have of putting your pants on in the morning. That's what it's about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
Socks
that's
on the wet foot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's deep metaphors. That's what we aim for. Yeah.
But sometimes, especially with music, like art in general, sometimes we get so caught up in the deep metaphor that like the true message of a song or an art piece gets lost because it's far too interpretational. Whereas this, not that there's not depth to it, but this is kind of on the nose with, hey, this shit sucks, but keep fighting.
Well, and that's what we talk about all the time. And like he writes a lot of these like great kick-ass songs. Like there's The Fight, and then there's like we have another song that we wrote in like the song is like 2 minutes and 53 seconds, and I think we literally wrote it in like about 3 minutes. Was our single before The Fight was Spitfire. Yeah. Because we were just jamming one day, and I was on the drums and he played a riff, and I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm just checking my sound." And I go, "Play that again." And then we just, and then we sit there and talk about like those kind of like daily life struggles, and we go back and forth, and he'll be like, "I want to talk about this, like that person that made you feel like shit, like fuck that person, and fuck that feeling." And it's like universal in a way where it's like, how many times are you like, "How am I going to do this?" Yeah. And we'll go, "Oh, well, let's write about that." You know what I mean? And that's what he did with The Fight, where he's like, I have the fight song. Right. I have our fight song. I'm like, what's it called? The Fight.
You're not gonna
believe it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I think that's great, and I think it really says a lot too, though, that you're able to take these things and kind of morph them into the song and say like, everybody writes about what their daily struggles are to some degree. There's not an artist out there that doesn't write about real life. Mm-hmm. But, making it relatable to the quote unquote common person isn't the easiest of tasks. So, I think that's one of the big ups to you guys for what I've seen in your discography so far, that, all of these songs are written in such a way that like, it's not overly specific to nobody else has been through this problem that I'm going through.
Yeah. Right. And honestly, it's a lot easier for me to write lyrics about something or about someone else's struggle, or like they're going through something, or they, we have a song.
Ugly Truth? Is that what you're thinking of?
Well, yeah, that song, I guess, is pretty personal. The next single we have coming out, it's about Ugly Truth. It's about addiction and all that. I just, with certain things in my life. But, we have a song called Come Around that's going to be coming out in early 2023. And that song is just about my buddy being single, broke up with his girl, just went on a binge of being single. And it's like, that's a good song to write about, So it's just easier for me to write lyrics about, like, when I'm hearing someone else's story, I'm like, that's going to be
But then you do a great thing where you draw it from other experiences, but then you talk about I'm going through this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, which is great because
we've all been through it.
Yeah, well, and the listener goes, "Oh, yes, I'm feeling this way. I feel great, or I feel like shit, or whatever it might be."
Yeah, it's easier,
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's also the interesting thing is, we tend to gravitate towards songs that sound like the emotion that we're in at that time. You know what I mean? Like, it seems counterintuitive because, like, oh, I'm having a shit day, I'm going to go listen to songs that are about having shit days. Yeah. Versus go listen to something that's happy and pulls me out of it.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
It's funny though. I'm the opposite when it comes to that. A lot of people are like that, but when I'm like really shitty, which is a lot, is I need to listen to like K-Earth 101 or like Happy, like, like, hey, yeah, I need that. And when I'm feeling good, I listen. Fire. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need to feel good. So, but when I'm feeling good, I'll listen to Nirvana and like the darkest Alice in Chains song of like Down in a Hole. And I'm like,
it's all about balance, right? Like, oh shit, I'm too happy. I've got to bring myself back down.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. Yeah. Whenever I'm sad or feeling down, I always throw on like Bon Iver. I don't know if you're familiar,
I
but
can't do
Yeah.
that.
dude, that dude will
It
pick me
bums
up,
me
even though it's
out.
so depressing, but
It's
it's so
great.
beautiful.
It's great,
Yeah.
but I'm like, am I depressed? I think I am now.
Yeah, I listen to Bon Iver, I'm like, all right, I'm not depressed anymore. That was great. Takes me on a journey.
Oh, you get it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
get it out. There you go.
Exactly.
Well, I think the mentality part of that goes to, obviously, like I'm of the camp that if I'm having a shit day, I'm going to listen to shit music, or shit day music. And I think what it is though is it does help in the sense because like now I don't feel like I'm alone in my shit day. Like,
Right.
cool,
Right.
this dude's had a terrible day too. Like, I'm good. You know, it's not as bad as it could be.
Not just me,
Right.
but he goes through it.
Uh, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the COVID years, which was supposed to be what 6 weeks or whatever that bullshit
Yeah.
was. So,
Yep.
so you know, forming a band going into the mess that was the COVID years. You touched on it a little bit about some of the freedoms and whatnot, but like, what does that do to you mentally as a band as well, though? Trying to create, but knowing like, okay, we can put these things out, but we can't go out and traditionally support them with shows and things like that.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to, I was pretty adamant about, and they were on board, which is great. I didn't want to be that band because I know a lot of bands in LA that ended up falling apart. They split up because they got, they're like, oh, we have to play shows. What are we doing it for not? And then they
Burn
fell
out.
apart. But I was like, all right, we can do online shows. We could really, and it's a great way to make money because you could sell online tickets. And, we did a whole thing, like I mentioned earlier, at the church. But I wanted to make sure we stayed working really hard. And online presence on social media was key. We would do videos. We would drop a single, and then we'll go on Instagram Live and play the single, or we'll do like an acoustic set on Instagram Live. Like we just did everything possible to stay active and not fall through the sound. So that's just pretty much, we just were like, hey, we got to work hard,
Yeah.
we got to stay up.
Do a music video,
Yeah,
whatever. Because it's like you have the time to,
exactly.
as opposed to, juggling, like you said, the shows and everything. It was like, all right, well, use the tools that we have right now.
Yeah, we were able to do a music
Write.
video, which is
Just
cool.
write.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write a
Just
lot of
anything.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say it was definitely a struggle. Like, when you're playing live shows in front of cameras and not an
Mhm.
audience, and you
Right.
still got to perform,
Yeah, it's weird.
it's a little interesting. So
Yeah.
that was way different. But
Like 3 girlfriends in the audience going,
yeah,
you did great.
and I'd be like, "What's going on, everybody?"
Yeah.
Crickets.
Crickets.
But meanwhile, there's like a bunch of people
Yeah.
watching through the lens.
Yeah.
But
But that was the cool thing because it gave us the time, like one of you guys were saying it, just like to get like to figure out what our identity was.
Yeah.
Because we had that like hibernation period. Because I think a lot of bands will go, oh, we have our songs, and they don't really have like a niche or a theme or a thing.
Right.
And this gave us time to go, what is our sound going to be like? And we went through trial and error of like
Oh, yeah.
writing a lot of other songs that are not in the set list anymore.
right.
And so because it gives us time to develop and go. And the one nice compliment we've heard from a lot of people is that they're like you guys have a sound, like you have like a thing, not just like a rock band, which
Right.
is something that we think, because we've been in bands, we've played with other artists, and you're going, oh, well, that's cool. Like it sounds like a rock band,
Mhm.
but you want to have like this other
You
thing.
want to have a certain identity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with everybody coming together, like he's like comes from his musical background, my background, our bassist and our drummer's background. You throw all those ingredients in, and you're like, oh, this is what the pizza looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the best pizza you ever had.
Yeah, Pepe's or penne or no,
Pepe.
Pepe.
Better than New Haven.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do think that that's the interesting thing, right? Like, so as a music journalist, I'm supposed to use the genre labels and all that bullshit, but I don't because nobody fits in a box anymore.
Right.
And I think you guys are a prime example of it. Like press releases and things like that just call you a melodic rock band, and it's like, okay, but what is that? You know what I mean? Like, there's so much room in that box.
Right.
So then when you start playing it, it's like, okay, yeah, they're a melodic rock band, in the most general fucking terms.
I know. It's like hard rock, melodic, alt rock. I don't know.
But you know what the thing about
Or
that?
your favorite kind of rock.
My
That's what it
favorite
is.
thing about that, I've always noticed this: whenever you show music to your friends and family, like or the band that you're in,
Yeah.
they always draw from what they like.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll go because I'll show somebody something. They go, "Yeah, it reminds me of the Offspring," and I go, "We sound nothing like the
I
Offspring."
know.
But that's the only thing they can maybe think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
A
okay,
little bit
I
of Leonard
get-
Skinner in there.
yeah, you're
Southern
like,
rock.
okay,
What?
yeah.
Not even
Is that
from
a-
the South. What are you talking about?
I know it's weird. Yeah. So when you talk about the genres and stuff like that, I think the one thing we think about though is I guess it's workout songs.
Yeah. What do you
Okay.
want to listen to in the gym?
Do you know? Yeah. Like what's gonna make you go, fuck
What's going
this,
to
I
make you
got it.
get out
Like,
of bed and just get pumped for the day?
right. Yeah. Like 86 is like that.
Yeah.
Spitfire, the fight is certainly like that. And because it's like, yeah, let's go kick the day's ass.
Yeah,
kind of.
exactly. Yeah,
You
we
know?
write those songs unintentionally,
Can we-
but it may be
It's a little
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
especially just with the beats and the grooves. And we work with
Exactly.
our producer Dario Camuzzi, who's like our 5th band member,
Yeah.
and he sits with us and trims the fat on songs and
Mhm.
kind of goes. He works with us all the time and goes, "This is how you want to kind of like curate it." So
Right.
there is a little bit of an agenda.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a really good kind of segue over to like talk a little bit about the importance of building the right team around you, but also internally within the band, you know, finding the right members of whether it's, you know, producers, press teams,
Mhm.
or internally within the band, like making sure the right pieces are in the right place.
Yeah, building a team is because at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So you want to surround yourself with like-minded people, people who believe in what you're doing, people who aren't going to waste your time, and people who are working hard. So for us, you know, we had the core of the team is there. So now we need, you know, how are we going to do sound and at our shows?
Right.
And you know, when we do this tour, how are we going to book it and get someone to do that we could trust? And then, you know, one of the most important people is Dario, like you mentioned. You know, he's not just a producer, also a good friend of ours, but he's not just sitting there producing and making a quick buck. He actually believes in what we're doing,
Right.
and he believes in the project, and he has fun doing it. So that's super important to keep in mind. But building a team, I mean,
Yeah.
our graphic designer, Carrie.
Carrie. Yeah. Shout out to
her.
Carrie.
She's been doing all the artwork for the singles and
The fight, Spitfire,
Yeah.
86. She crushed it.
yeah, so
Because we sit down and talk about the idea.
yeah, and she really knows how, like,
And
she's
she'll
so
go,
creative. She
yeah.
knows how to like really take our idea and be like, all right, that's cool, but
Mhm.
check this out, and
Yeah.
then make it completely better. And we're like, that's what I was really thinking. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
shout out to Jessica and Edson, who are photographers
Yeah.
who come to like almost every single one of our shows
Yep.
and just make us look way cooler than we are. We got to
Exactly,
give a
yeah.
huge shout because they've been like so supportive,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that's what you need, that team.
As a concert photographer myself,
Oh.
I can't tell you how happy that just made me.
Oh, yeah.
You're giving the credit to that. You know, so often like
After.
it just like, but it seems like so many bands are take it for granted that, you know, well, we're
Yeah.
the ones on stage, and I don't think it's like always an intentional jadedness of like,
No, yeah.
oh, we're the one on stage, so you're doing us the favor. But like this last year, I got to photograph Flogging Molly a few times, and they've been
Oh,
crazy supportive about like making sure they tag me and everything and whatnot. And I'm like,
Oh, that's
this is art supporting art. This is where it's supposed to be.
Right,
Mhm.
100%. It goes hand in hand too.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no content without photographers,
right.
you know, and yeah, we've been blessed to find them. And well, they kind of, I guess Edson found us.
They kinda, yeah.
And then Jessica, I saw she shot one other show, and her photos are amazing. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
would you ever be interested in doing a Mechanical Roof show? And she was
Yeah.
like, say no more.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was like what, 5 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
So that goes to show, like, you know, building a team is super, super important. You need good people around you, people who care about their art
Mhm.
and what they're doing and their purpose. So, I mean, yeah, we've been blessed to have such a great team with us.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
I think you guys nailed it. I mean, you know, it's like you said at the beginning. At the end of the day, it's a business, and it sucks to think about this thing that you love, this passion project of a band, as
yeah,
a business, because it almost takes away parts of it. But like, you know, I'm the same way as a photographer. Like, I love the creative side of it. Man, sometimes the business end just sucks the fucking life out of
Yeah.
it.
But I mean, I look at it like, yes, you know, people are turned off by the term, like, you know, calling it a business, but it's a business that I would rather do than anything else in my life.
Right.
Like, I'm blessed to be able to do this and call it my business or our
Yeah.
business. Like, to me, yes, it's work, but it's work that I love and enjoy. And
You have to work hard.
it's our baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta make it happen. So yeah, it's a business, but it's the best business to be in for
Well,
sure.
yeah, and the other
personally.
And the thing about it being a business, I think it's because everything that we do with these creative minds, whether you're a producer, a photographer, or a graphic artist design, we're all and like you, it probably you can go like, you're an emotional person.
Right.
Everything's based off of emotion, and business is not emotional. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's business. But with the band and with the extra band members, basically, it's been great. I think because as the crew and like-minded individuals, we have the professionalism to go, that's a great idea, or hey, that idea sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we all like do it all the time where we're just very honest with each other, where we're like, like that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And we go,
Yeah.
okay, well, and it's all about getting better, and there's nobody's cutting anybody down and nobody's bullshitting anybody,
Yeah.
because like
Versus being in like a jam band where you're just like, yeah, keep playing that for another
like
20
whatever,
minutes.
like
I love jam band music, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's very just like, yeah, I did
Yeah.
this, and it's very
Yeah.
easy going.
because we like it's that calculation of like we're working on that. We just did this before where we're working on our live show right now.
Yeah.
Where we're not just gonna go up and go, da da da, here's our songs. Like
Yeah.
we want to do a show where
Right.
when a photographer or a person comes to the venue, it's like you got to remember, like this person drove, dealt with parking, dealt with the traffic, or they had to get a babysitter or whatever it is. And it's like it's our job to make 45 minutes as best as we can to put
Yeah.
together something really special, you know?
Yeah. Especially in the LA area, right? Like it's
Oh God,
2 hours to get across fucking town, isn't it?
dude,
Yeah.
I love the pandemic so much. Sorry.
No traffic.
I got to Santa Monica in like
Yeah.
20 minutes from Sunset. I was like, you gotta be shitting
Yeah,
me.
now it's like an
worse
hour.
than
Yeah.
ever right now.
I know.
Oh, it's horrific.
It's
Yeah.
bad. Live in LA, they said it'll be fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
they say that's where dreams come true, but I'm just, you know, with the internet now, I'm not sure that I have to make that move.
But
Yeah.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, thank God.
What's
for
Indiana traffic like?
Not bad. I can get from the end to end of the state in 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
it's a
Oh,
joke.
okay.
Yeah. Dude, I'm from Ohio. So
Yeah.
it's like you used to measure miles and minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
Like-
That's exactly what we do.
Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
fun.
for me to get to Chicago's 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
It's really like 600 and something miles, but like for me, it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
Just to get across town here. Yeah. it's-
demographic is key, I guess, for whatever you're trying to do.
My thing has always been like I'm on the 101 and it's like 1 p.m. and it's gridlock and I'm like, don't you fuckers have jobs?
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you all doing here? And I'm like, oh wait, it's LA.
Yeah, everybody's just
Everyone's a
doing
TikTok
something.
star and a
Yeah.
musician and an actor. I'm like, we're all going to the same audition.
That's one thing that's
Right.
crazy about living in LA is that, let's say, God forbid, but let's say there was a nuclear attack about to happen, right?
Uh-huh.
Or some fucking asteroid or some crazy shit.
How are we getting out of here?
You're walking out of California. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
There's no way people are driving out of here.
We're not gonna make it. Yeah.
Everybody's car will be parked on the freeway and you'll be walking to freaking Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you're driving out of here. So it's a little scary to think about it like that.
We're gonna start taking helicopter lessons
Yeah.
Hey,
so we can
you know.
fly up and
Hop in the
out.
chopper. No,
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
I Am Legend, dude. They hopped on that thing. The thing
Didn't
swung
work.
out. and
Yeah, it didn't work.
people, at that time, people would be desperate and be getting on. So yeah, living in LA, that's in the back of my mind. Not everybody's mind,
Yeah.
but something I think about.
Or the big earthquake.
Yeah, exactly.
We also have that to worry about.
Dude,
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. I hate to be that guy. But it's just a matter of time, right? Like that's going to happen.
I know. I mean, New York
Dude,
City got a
did I tell
PSA
you?
of how to deal with a nuclear attack, so it's only a matter of time before
I
LA
had
does.
a dream about the big earthquake. I was in a
It's
hotel
coming. It's
lobby
coming.
in the dream, and in the dream, the whole thing shifted 50 yards to the left. I felt like everything, and I woke
Right.
up like it was happening. So it's a thing that's on your mind. Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah,
It
there's
can
a lot of
happen.
crazy
I still am
shit.
not used to the earthquakes out here. When they happen, I jump like a cat. Like
I've only felt 2, so I've been out here 7 years, and I've only felt
Really?
2
Really?
earthquakes. Sketchy every time because you're just
Yeah.
nothing I can do. tornado, you can get underground. Hurricane, you could, build a shelter, get higher ground. Earthquake, doesn't matter. If that shit will just happen at full speed, you're just done.
But
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, and I think that's the big thing, like with earthquakes, is we don't really have a early warning system for them. You know, tornadoes, we may not get a ton of time, but
Yeah.
we can tell you a little in advance. Hurricanes, we see that shit 3 days before it's coming to land. Like we're good.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Earthquake, it's like, hey, everything's great today. Oh fuck, what happened?
Yeah. Hey, you gonna finish that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're just totally fucked.
Yeah.
So, but hey, that's why we live out here, right? No risk, no results.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Talk about the music scene in LA specifically, because like obviously Hollywood has always portrayed the California music scene as the place, right? Like
Sure.
Great
we've
question.
had other little hubs. I say little hubs. New York is one of them, but like Seattle, things like that. But LA is the classic quote unquote rock star dream. Like what's it really like in the LA music scene?
So, from experience playing shows, there's a lot of unfortunate scenarios of pay to play. And the Sunset Strip specifically, we've done shows there. We didn't have to pay to play. We were asked on, which is, we're grateful for.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of bands who are just starting out. They don't really know the techniques on how to book shows, where to book shows.
Because the problem is a new band will do it.
Exactly. New band will be like, oh, I'm going to play the Whiskey and have your name on the thing.
Yeah.
But you got to pay to play there.
And then the bookers and promoters will go, we'll find somebody to pay to play.
And then, going back to where this is a business, that's just not smart business thinking.
Right.
You're not here to lose money. You're here to make money or invest money in certain things that will make you money in the long run. But then before the pandemic, there was a great rock scene on the east side of LA, Silver Lake, Echo Park. There's great venues that are no longer there, unfortunately. So I feel like it's been very scattered, right?
Yeah, it has. But I mean, like, it's a good scene in general for like, it's so eclectic as far as like, there's so many genres and there's so many bands. And there's, I mean, it's like, I think the thing is, it's like, this is like a hub where you get together to form the band but we're all in the business. So shows can seem a little bleak because our favorite thing to do is to get out of Dodge and go to Austin or, like Atlanta or Portland, Oregon. Like people are so stoked that you're there and they get rambunctious and shit. Like everyone in LA is like, oh yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, because everybody's there doing the same thing.
Yeah, they're all doing it. Yeah, you're playing.
They're like, yeah, that was good, but I could do that better.
But it's great in that regard because then you really see how you hold up.
Yeah.
Like when we play in front of like our buddies will come to the shows all the time. And we have other friends that were other bands that we're friends with that we all like hang out or whatever.
Play shows together.
We play shows together and it's just, you're going like, oh yeah, you did that. Oh, well, and you just get better. So it's a great, it's
competing
gym.
on a friendly level.
Yeah. It's a great gym with that. But tell him, we met during the podcast, but during our podcast, we realized we jammed at the Sunset Jam with the shittiest drummer that ever walked
here. But he talked a big game. We have a song about that.
It was because we realized that because so for the musician dorks out there and everything, there was a jam called the Sunset Jam that our friend Eric Himmel ran, which was a great way for people to network.
Connect.
Yeah. And we would play and get a little rowdy. And you'd go, oh, hey, are you available this night? And you go, yeah, I'll come in and do it. And he goes, all right. So he puts me and him, we never met.
Yeah, we didn't meet yet.
We didn't meet on the song Them Bones by Alice in Chains. Mm-hmm. And for you non-music listeners out there, that song is in an odd time signature. And you have to like pay attention and know the song.
Yeah,
right.
And you can't just go, oh yeah, it goes like this. You have to know it. So we show up at the jam, we all kind of meet each other. I think we were the first song of the night because the opening band, which was not that great, I go on stage, they get done, opening band gets done. I walk on stage and the singer from that band walks over behind the drums. And I go, are you playing drums on this? And he goes, oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like,
and I'm like,
man, I'm doing it. Yeah, let's just do it.
I panicked. I'm like, this is not gonna go well.
Yeah.
And we forgot that we played that because then years later, we're doing the podcast, and he tells me this story. He goes, dude, I played with the shittiest drummer at the Viper Room on them. And I go, I played with the shittiest. He was like, that was you? Like, we were like, yeah. And so that's the first time we like jammed together.
Yeah.
And it was just a really, so you have experiences like that where you walk off the stage going, all right, I hope nobody saw that, but everybody was there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny too, because after that, you know, I was always working on like developing a band in LA.
Yeah.
You know, coming from Connecticut, I always
Right.
been in a regional band. So I was like, you know, this is what I want to do with my life.
Right.
Let me try to get it happening. And there's a Facebook Messenger thread of
Oh
like
yeah, I
us.
forgot about it.
I'm like, yo, dude, that was great to jam with you. You want to jam? He's like, yeah, you know, we could jam. And then it ended up never happening. And like I said, the universe just came around full circle for us, and here we are.
To go back to your point of what the blessing was with the pandemic, that because that was the thing for me at that time when we were doing that stuff. And what was this, 2017, 2018?
2017.
Okay. I was definitely in the circus of being a hired gun.
Right.
And I'm just go, gig, who cares, whatever. Like I wasn't in that. But I grew up being in a band mentality. Like I didn't care about the bass player for Shakira or whatever. Like I didn't know any of that stuff or
Right.
Michael Jackson or whatever it is. But it's like I just knew bands. I knew AC/DC and Foo Fighters and stuff like that. So when you did, so because the pandemic slowed everything down, it made me go, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. Like if I'm going to work with people, I want to work with my band, my crew, my family, and that we're all in this together. And so that was the cool thing about it, because then I was just like, yes, enough is enough. I'm in a band again.
Yeah.
The band's gonna make it.
Well, there's definitely something to be said about the hired guns, right? Like
No, and it's, don't get me wrong, I still do it, but
Yeah.
right. And to be like even a studio musician or whatever, like there's still a lot to be said about those people.
Absolutely.
But it absolutely is a 180-degree turn on mentality when you're going, this is my band, this is my project.
Mm-hmm.
I can have input and add value here. Whereas studio work, it's usually somebody else has written it, and
Mm-hmm.
you're handed a sheet of paper and go, hey, I just need you to play the notes. Thanks, bye. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy playing for the guy. I want to be the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you know, we got to make a living too. So, outside Mechanical Roots, we all do session stuff. And
Yeah, we all do.
So,
Yeah.
but we're constantly playing, networking, and that's just kind of what you do.
And
out
that,
there.
I think that's what helped with the songwriting, us learning
Yeah,
from
oh, yeah.
working with other people,
For sure.
going like working with producers and being a studio musician where you're like,
Mhm.
that shit's hard. Like I'm in the
Yeah.
studio right now and the producer is constantly like, sorry, bro, that's not, and you're just going, "Bah," and you do that 45 times.
Yeah. Like I thought I was good.
I
at
thought I
that.
was a guitar player.
Damn.
So when we do our shit, we go, we've learned all these tools of being
Oh,
a
yeah.
hired gun of like, okay, let's take that. That's a good experience. This is a thing we don't want to be like, and you draw from it. And I think that's what helps with like the songwriting. It's like
Yeah.
trimming the fat, going like, do we need to, like, who are we playing for? Like, are we gonna like play all the notes that we can play? Does this song need a guitar solo? Does it need a drum fill like that? You
Mhm.
know? And
Yeah.
that's what's exciting, is being on the other side and then coming back to it.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it adds tools to the tool belt, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I was in a session the other day. We tried this thing, and it was really fucking dope. Let's, you know, experiment with this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, take I mean, like, you know, you can always, I always refer back to or relate it to, like, if you go to college for a job, right? You graduate, you go to your job, and it takes you a while to like figure it out because experience is the best teacher. So,
Yeah.
you know, for us, it's like we've already been to school, you know, we've been taught like, all right, I try trial and error over and over again. And so when it comes to the band and writing and performing specifically too, I mean, you know, performance is key because how are you going to play? You got to read the room, but also you want them to walk out of the room and say, God damn, that was the best fucking show I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And we, you know, no matter what happens that day, just put on a show, play the songs well. And so you learn that through trial and error and just from playing over and over and over again. So I think we're in a good spot of like, yeah, we have definitely been the student or in Star Wars terms,
Padawan.
Padawan. You know, I don't want to call us masters because we're not,
Jedi Knight. Kind of like Jedi Knight.
Yeah, like
right
Jedi
now.
Knights, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not big in Star Wars, but I think that's what they call
Try to
it.
use a reference, you have no idea.
What is that? How does that fucking Star Wars thing go again? You know,
that reminds me so much of when about a little over a year ago now, I guess, I used to be a licensed insurance agent for like 5 or 6 years. But before taking that test, because that test is fucking insane, you go to like this little class. They teach you all the ins and outs on the test or whatever. And I'll never forget the instructor that I had, you know, going back to like experience is the real measure of a person or an artist.
Sure.
He straight up said at the beginning of class, he goes, look, here's the thing. I'm going to teach you what you need to know to get past the test. But then when you walk out of this door, I want you to forget every fucking word that I said because it's not the real world application.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's if everything goes right, then you learn nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need a lot of shit to go wrong so you can adapt and overcome. Like, you know, for instance, I played a show one time where I went to sing in the mic and the sound guy didn't turn my mic on. And so I'm like, okay, I can either stop the show and say, hey, I need my mic on, or I just adapt and just start playing guitar. We'll do a little cool jam session.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll look up at him and be like, my mic's off, you know, but still keep the people entertained, still keep ourselves entertained,
Right.
you know, make sure there's no awkwardness. And, you know, pedal boards are a big thing. I mean, we have big pedal boards. And so sometimes that shit just doesn't want to work, you know, and so you got to kind of adapt. But if everything goes right in a situation, you learn nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to have shit go wrong. You know, it sucks, but it teaches you how to keep going and how to become professional. And so
that reminds me of I just saw an Instagram reel of Kevin from This Wild Life. He had a very similar issue go on where mid-set, like his mic just died. So he's like freaking out and he's like, well, fuck it. And he starts playing the Addams Family theme song and letting the crowd clap along until the mic could get fixed and turned back on.
Yeah.
So like, you know, just fuck it. I can do this thing for a few minutes and we'll be fine.
Right. And it's still fun. It's not awkward. You're not stopping the show. And then the crowd knows that something's wrong. Like, you don't want the crowd to know anything is wrong.
Right.
Unless you're me and you. The one thing I have a problem with is I have the coordination of a giraffe on ice. Like,
I heard they're actually really good.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah. Giraffes on ice?
Yeah, good hockey players.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 22.
Yeah.
For the Toys R Us hockey team. No, at our one show, this is the only time I'll do it. We did a show, we did a release show in March. Who was that for? 86? No.
Yeah.
That was 86 release.
Yeah.
I went up to the front of the stage like a rock star, played my solo, and trying to be cool. I take a step back and I hit the power box that everything's plugged into.
Right.
So it's like vines of cables. And I went, like, and I literally almost, and you can kind of see it in one of our footages where I literally almost eat it. I was like convinced I was going to land flat on my back, but I somehow caught it and I was able to. And I looked at the crowd and the entire crowd's like, yeah, we saw that shit.
I remember singing in the mic and I just was like, you good? Like, what just happened?
But in those cases, you have to laugh that off and go,
right.
I'm not a rock star. I'm an idiot. And I remember like smiling, I took a bow. I was like, yep, I just made a fool. Like, you just lean into it where you're
I always ask people, are you okay? And they're like, wait a minute. Am I okay?
Am I okay? Yeah.
You know, make it reverse psychology.
Right.
Yo,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
good?
Yeah,
Good?
I know. It
I'm
was
good.
so
What the
silly.
fuck?
Yeah. Because I've done shit like that all the time where I'm like, I'm going to make it. I got this.
Yeah.
And then my big clown feet trip me up. Like, you know, so that's the only time
you stop wearing those clown shoes.
but they were
left
free.
that life a long time ago.
No, you can, what is it? You leave the clown life, but the
clown life never leaves you.
Yeah.
I got that tatted on my back.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh,
So I
okay.
never forget, you know?
I think that's a really good observation though, like a real life observation too, that like whether it's music or not, if you plan that everything's going to go right, like something's bound to make you look like a fool at some point. And you kind of have that choice to make. Like, okay, do we lean into it or do I play it off like nothing ever happened? And obviously, it's a case by case basis on
Right.
what the right answer is. But I think, it's life's weird way, whether you're religious or spiritual or nothing. Like, it's life's weird way of kind of humbling you sometimes. Like, hey,
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I see you're out there, big guy, but take a step back.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Dave Grohl. He fell off the stage, broke his leg.
Yeah. He gets on the microphone. He goes, "I think I broke my fucking leg."
Yeah. I mean, to like the audience and fans, you look at them and you see those huge, massive rock stars in person, and you just look at them like, holy shit, almost like not like a human. But then you see them make human errors, and you're like, oh yeah, it kind of brings you back to earth a little bit. Like, oh yeah, everybody's the same.
Yeah. And that's rock and roll. It's supposed to be a little dangerous and fucked up. Like, that's what we're bringing back is non-perfection. Like, we might not make it at the next show.
Right.
I remember
Probably through our own fault,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember playing a show one time, and I know this happens to like most guitar players, but I have a white Telecaster, and I was strumming, and for some reason when I strum, I hit my fingertip as well if I'm really going crazy. So it just started blood all over the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, that's so badass. But people are probably like, yo, you good? Like, you that checked out,
I bleed for my art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
that reminds me of Adam Lazara of Taking Back Sunday. This has been years and years ago, but like he used to swing the mic around his neck all the fucking time.
Oh
That's a genius thing. And one time he short corded himself and hit himself in the mouth and like busted his fucking mouth open, right? And like talking about leaning into it, literally they got on the phone. Like that happens at a show. Like pictures and videos obviously are starting to go viral, and they literally made a fucking T-shirt that was
that's
mic
amazing.
cord wrapped around and a bloody mic just hanging in the center. And I'm like, that's the best way to take advantage of that.
And
100%.
I love little, I guess I call them Easter eggs,
Yeah.
like little, things that, if you know, that
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are always great.
yeah, that's a good point. It happened to
We need to start doing that.
what's Van Halen? Dave.
David Lee Roth?
Yeah,
He
David Lee
busted
Roth.
his face with a sword?
Yeah, was it a
I
sword?
think it was a sword.
It was something they did. I don't know if you saw that.
It's at Kimmel?
He busted his mouth or
I
his
think it was
face.
on Kimmel. Yeah, I think it was a
But
sword.
he came back out before him, so it's
Yeah.
gotta adapt and overcome, man.
Yeah, I mean, we could go way back and do Ozzy biting the head off of a bat,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Alice Cooper with the
I
chicken.
mean, that's a little. That's a little
My
crazy.
face, he's like, I'm from Detroit. It has wings. It'll fly. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna start bringing nunchucks on stage. That's all.
Yeah,
Ka.
there you go. There you go.
Awesome. You should make them. I just literally came up with this. Make them, but make them drumsticks and just start hitting the fucking drum set with them.
Oh yeah.
Tracy's just doing
Yeah.
the sick drum beat.
She has like 4 drumsticks.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's cool. But check this out.
Right. Yeah.
Playing the best beat of all time.
Yeah. She's a fast drummer. We'll call her.
That'll
Sunday.
be a hit on
Yeah.
TikTok. For
That would
sure.
actually work. That was a good idea. There you go. We'll cut you in on that.
Yeah.
I'll take my donation afterwards. After
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No, let's I'm loving these stories, but let's move into kind of the vision for 2022 rolling into 2023. You said there, at the beginning you've kind of got plans for a tour. Obviously, I don't want to get you in trouble with PR yet, but anything you're allowed to talk about on the tour stuff and kind of what's this vision for the next 6 months to a year?
Yeah, for sure. So the tour, so Austin City Limits is happening in October. And so we thought, since we're going to be dropping a new single around then, it'd be cool to tour off that single and play ACL. And so we're going to be doing that in October in Austin. So we built the whole tour around that of 12 days.
That's the 14th of
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, we're
We'll be in
playing at
ACL.
Valhalla in Austin
Mhm.
on the 14th of October.
Yep.
Come on out if you're listening. But anyway, yes, we're going to be doing this tour. We're playing, we're basically doing a B, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I say that to people and they're like, I'm not following. I'm like, so we're take our route. We're doing the form of a B. And we got a lot of kick-ass shows on there. We're opening up for Cairo Knife Fight, a House of Blues, waiting to hear back from the Troubadour for the last show of the tour, opening for them again. So yeah, we're just going out there to promote the single. We're getting a new batch of merch that's going to be coming in that we're super stoked about. Some kick-ass looking T-shirts that we're excited to sell on tour, and so that's kind of what's going to bring us to the end of 2022. And then 2023 is going to be more about, again, dropping new releases. Because when we when we recorded The Fight, we also recorded 2 additional songs.
Yeah.
So one of those songs is coming out in October, and then the following one might be February, March area, somewhere there, somewhere away from like the Grammys, and it's too much going on. So you want to do it when the water is calm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that'll bring us into the beginning, and then hopefully jump on some tours of opening act, or tours of our own, and have people come on, and just working hard, grinding, just building the brand of Mechanical Roots.
Yeah.
That's kind of on the forecast. So
Yeah.
We're gonna have like a 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 months. Every like 3 months we release like a single.
Yeah.
So you can kind of expect that too. And it just depends on like the time of the year.
Exactly.
Because we have 5 new songs
yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot.
that
to
we're gonna
do,
be releasing as singles.
which is good. We're busy. We're not just sitting there with our thumb in our ass. We're,
Yeah, exactly.
sitting there with our thumb in our ass and working hard.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know you could do that at the same time. Oh, we got it frozen.
Yeah, I think you froze. Are you with us?
He's like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore.
There we go. I lost you for a second.
Oh, I know. I'm getting weird power issues. I don't know if it's the AC.
Well, I'm not connected to power, so.
No, I mean,
the
but the internet, you're connected to the internet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fine.
But whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, not a big deal. No, I was going to say, I think, going back to the band as a business, as much as we hate to talk about that, I always find it really important,
I think we lost you again.
Hold on. Let me.
What's going on here?
I don't know if it's me or if it's. Is it me? Oh, goodness.
Hello.
Yep, there we go.
We lost you again.
Yep, I'm back again.
All
Okay.
right.
Don't know if it's you or if it's me, but we'll be.
I don't know.
Probably
Yeah,
an
Fine.
earthquake coming. Probably
yeah,
an
it's
earthquake
the big
that's
one.
gonna hit.
The big
Yeah.
one.
No, I was going to say, one of the things I try to emphasize when it comes to, you brought up new merch and stuff like that. So for fans or potential fans, like that's one of the biggest opportunities to support a band, especially in the stage of the career that you guys are in. Like everybody assumes that streaming's the way to go, right? If they do good on Spotify, or if they get those YouTube views or whatever, and it's like, that's such a small fucking amount compared to coming out to a show, buy the ticket, and come buy a shirt. And I'm going to make more off that from you than I will if you stream my song 10,000 times.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, and it's funny. Someone was like, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about Spotify and numbers and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we played a show with this dude who had like 1 million streams, but there's like 10 people at a show. And I'm like, that's because, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. So you can't believe that just because someone has all these streams. You could buy streams, you could get these bullshit playlisters that'll just, I don't know how they do it, but they give you a bunch of playlist numbers or streams, and then you go see them live and you're like, what the hell is this? Especially you could really fake your sound on the internet. And that's one thing that we kind of hone dear to us is we got to be better than the record. And so when you come to our show, it's like, we want you to walk away like, holy shit, that's better than the record. That's better than what I expected. That's always great, because you hear the sound, you're like, you go to the show, and blowing minds is what we want to do.
Right.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's hard to say, like, or actually it's not hard, but it's funny that people will spend money they'll spend like 10, 15 bucks a month on Spotify, but sometimes they'll go to a show and be like, ooh, $30 for a t-shirt. Yeah, I don't know about that. And it's like, well, that's 2 months worth of, supporting us on Spotify. Might as well just help us out here.
Yeah.
And but the new shirts are kick-ass. We're super stoked, and so we hope people will want to buy them.
Shirts, we got
anyway.
koozies.
Yeah, we got koozies from your hands. Some cold beer, fucking warm them up.
Cold hands.
No one likes wet hands.
No.
Cold damp hands. Come on, man. Put a koozie on that.
Yeah.
We want to shake hands with a wet towel. Come on.
No, and I do think that's a great point, though. Like, thinking about the merch and kind of the different things that you can create, like koozies are starting to become popular again for some reason, and it's just the way trends work.
Yeah.
But like, I think that plays a little bit of mentality into the casual listener, if you will, on if they're going to buy merch or not. Like, do I really need another black band T-shirt?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But you have this kick at, koozie, or like, oh, this beach towel or whatever. Like, well, fuck it. Yeah, I could do that. I need more of those.
Do beach towels.
We could do a beach towel.
I didn't
Actually,
think about beach towels. It's actually a great idea. One thing that I think is
Boxer
super,
briefs.
yeah, boxer briefs. One thing I thought about actually for any bands listening, which we're probably going to do down the road, is lighters, because everybody a lighter gets passed around. It's like a coin, that
Yeah.
shit travels from, if it starts in LA, it'll end up in Africa somehow, some
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you never know who's going to be holding the lighter. and
Lighter
they'll be like, oh,
matches, like those matches you get for free, like
Yep.
the flippy,
matches are
could
good.
do matches.
Yeah, so
yeah.
just those things to get outside the box. Like, what would convenient mean more than a T-shirt? Beer koozies, I love. I mean,
Yeah.
put them on, keep your drink cold, keep your hands dry. Get your beer koozie today.
Yeah.
But yeah, just thinking outside the box with merch is always good. But we're really excited because obviously we're doing it, like you said, like who wants just another black band T-shirt? But what I think our graphic designer Carrie, she was like, well, when I go shopping, why do I want to wear a shirt?
Right.
Right. What stands out about that shirt that's going to want to make me wear that out and not just around the house
Yeah.
or to the show, So we kept that in mind of style.
Yeah, to make it
wise.
like look good and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Because even like, I don't know, you guys have probably seen it. Like, it's so funny when they give so much shit to the like the Kardashians
Right.
in the Metallica Master of Puppets shirt,
Yeah. Name
you know,
5 songs.
or like Ride the Lightning. But at the end of the day, they're like, well, no, that looks good. It's like somehow
It's stylish.
Metallica, like the Ramones, to name a few that are
Rolling
just like,
Stones.
well, no, but I mean, like, those shirts that are iconic that they still
Yeah.
like to the, or actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the tongue. It's just, if you just put the tongue on there, like
It's cool.
it's not just a band shirt anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that.
It's a style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can accomplish that, I think
Yeah.
some of our like the artwork that we have for all the singles, that's what we're working on, making it look like,
And that goes
where if you're
back-
at the show and you're like,
yeah.
oh dude, that's a cool shirt.
Exactly. And that goes back to the business concept, like,
Yeah.
okay, how can we make money, still build our brand and keep true to ourselves, but also give the people something that they're going to enjoy
Mhm.
wearing.
Yeah.
I think we lost them again.
Oh no.
Oh, you're
I'm
back.
here.
I
Okay.
got you.
But yeah,
Yeah. No, I do think, that, like you said, I run into it even with like my merch for the website and the podcast. Like, is this something like this? I've got a fucking ship on my shirt, like, and
Yeah.
it's, you make the scene in the sails, in rough seas we sail on the bottom. Like, is this something I would wear out? Like, was my thought. Because
Right.
I can't tell you how many fucking shirts are over in that closet from bands that I've bought that just kind of fucking sit there, and it's,
using the
they
cut the
fit.
grass
I just
or
don't
something.
wear them out.
Yeah, you could sleep in
Yeah.
our shirts
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you wear them to the gym, or they don't see the public eye as they should or they're meant to. So
You can buy our
Yeah.
double XLs and wear it as like a nighttime gown, evening
it's
gown.
now a snuggie.
It's now a snuggie, yes.
You always wanted to wear an oversized shirt and cuddle up on the couch.
Yes.
Now you can.
Now you can with the Mechanical Roots t-shirt.
Yeah. One size fits all.
We should get a shirt where it's just like pictures
I think
of
you're
you.
for,
Sorry, go
for
ahead.
your next merch drop.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. For your next merch drop, what you need to do, because you guys are great at this so far, make TikToks that are like infomercials for your fucking merch.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
got one coming for the koozies. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. We
Yeah,
should do
I
like,
think,
it's
like
not only,
infomercial style is perfect.
oh yeah, because it's funny, it's entertaining,
have you
and
ever
it's
spilled
who
a
we are.
ever spilled liquid in the kitchen? You can mop it up.
Use a mechanical
Yeah,
roots
yeah,
towel.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Your floor needs dusting. This works great too.
Yeah, you're like a sham wow, dude.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Or
that's
slap
what it
chop.
is. Do you like washing the car with it?
Yeah. Awesome.
This is why we're
That's honestly like everything I've got for you guys on this episode. So let's kind of do the standard outro. Like, obviously I'll link all the socials and stuff, and we've talked about the tour, but what's the best way for people to find you guys, interact, and what's the parting message, if you will?
Yeah, so for anybody interested, we're Mechanical Roots. We're half of Mechanical Roots. And you can find us online. Instagram is what we're always on there. We run the Instagram.
It's us.
Yeah, hit us up on Instagram if you want to say hey, or if you're interested in when we're playing. You can check our website. All of our dates are on there, and all the tour dates will be uploaded on mechanicalroots.com. All the new music. You can follow Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just give us a follow on there and leave them with a message.
My message is simple. I'm Michael O'Grady, and I'm being held captive against my will. I've been in this band for 2.5 years. They will not let me leave. I'm in distress. I'm blinking. My address is yeah. Yeah. Follow us on all the social platforms. Follow us on Spotify. Keep up with us because we have all the tour dates are going to get announced soon. We got more singles coming out. So if you stay connected with us, and we'll, if anybody out there listening, like, come to a show, hang out, we'll have fun. And I guess that's my message. And
join the family.
Listen to our shit when you need to work out. You don't have the motivation to work out. I'm telling you, you will go on that run so fucking fast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guys.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like I said, as I went through the discography, there's a little bit of like a nostalgia feeling to it, because it does feel like old school 90s rock type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so much new elements to it. And like I said earlier, like so much depth. You don't fit in the box. You're pouring out of that genre box into these different things. And I think it will, like, when people find the songs that hype them up, it's going to be those things where, like, shit, I have to go listen to that. That's going on playlist.
Yeah. No, and we really appreciate that. That's a hell of a compliment, because that's what we're trying to do. And what you said about that nostalgia thing, I think the way that we got to give credit to, we think about it, and Dario, our producer, is so great with going, he gets real takes from us, like, as musicians, and it's not so cookie cutter and polished and clean as you might think it might be, where it's like rawness. It's like raw and human elements. So we marry the two, where we go, like, we want our music to be like on movies, or like the third act of, like, or the workout thing, where it sounds epic and it has like these nuances of something that's like new, like the 20th this century that we're
still
in.
Keeps you authenticity.
But like, because from the roots of, no pun intended, of where we come from, where it's like, like that opening line in Welcome to the Jungle is a mistake. Right. Slash is just checking the tone, going and then he goes like that's a mistake, and we love little things like that. So that's what we're,
And thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm sure this won't be the last time. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk soon. All right.
All right, Josh. Thanks so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Josh.
Man. You too.
All right. Take care.
I love you.